Hi, my name is Wang. Today I represent Jungle to talk about SDG 4, specifically about how crisis of COVID has affected education. Years of steady progress in educating more children around the world ended abruptly in 2020, with 1.4 billion children kept away from school. The outbreak of COVID-19 has created severe impact to all kinds of students. While COVID-19 and the pandemic continue to spread globally, measures were introduced to address the problem. As a result of the regulation, countries decided to close schools to enforce distancing and to lower the burden for the country. According to UNESCO, an estimated 138 countries have closed schools nationally, while others have regional policies affecting more than 90% of students. The most significant impact is on people who live highly above the poverty line, but detrimental to the most marginalized individuals coming from unequal backgrounds that prevents them from accessing numerous resources and further exacerbate inequality. Disparity is caused by two reasons: food insecurity and access to education. COVID has a significant impact on disparity in both analyses. Studies found that children from low-income families are less likely to participate in distance learning due to an inability to afford sufficient internet and devices. Economic hardship prevents these children from accessing education. Children from high socioeconomic level families continue education unimpeded, while others from low-income families are struggling to learn and improve. School closure not only affects education. More than 30 million students rely on school meals to stay healthy and alive. Without schools, students cannot eat properly and further lead to food insecurity. Children from low-income families undergo food insecurity where their families cannot afford food and leave them starving. Education has direct impact on the graduate degrees of poverty. A quality education supports the child's development of social, emotional, and communication skills. Education programs also benefit the development of knowledge and skills useful for the future of these students. By providing universal access to education, UNESCO ensures inclusive quality education for all and promote lifelong learning. As we all know, students who receive an education will have more opportunities in the future since they can get a diploma, and then they will be able to get access to broader labor market, a leverage for them to get high-paid jobs. Without proper education, children from low-income families will be trapped into a vicious cycle where the next generation of their family will remain in poverty. With more than 90% of students affected, 30 million students unable to eat school meals, and children coming from low-income families unable to afford electronic devices and the internet, the crisis of COVID has created severe impact to the poor and detrimental increase in education gap. Actions are needed to ameliorate, mitigate, and adjust issues. The continuation of school meals is essential for children who cannot even afford a living. Governors should consider subsidizing poor families. Governors should consider subsidizing low-income families. Teachers need to change their teaching style to ensure kids without the internet can still get a chance to learn. Actions must be taken immediately to prevent long-lasting inequalities. Thank you.
I'd have one quick question. You mentioned that governors must spend money to provide students with the necessary internet connection. Is that right? And computer equipment needed to do online classes.
Yeah.
Where does that money come from? Where would a province or come up with the money to fund that program?
Okay, so when I talk about subsidizing low-income families, it doesn't necessarily mean providing them with these type of computers or like internet. What I meant was subsidizing them with probably vouchers that they can spend on like things related to education. For example, textbook or necessary stationery that will probably help them when they learn and study. So ways that they can get the vouchers are probably partnering up with like different companies or like stationery stores to provide these type of necessities for these children.
Okay. Thank you. Interesting. I like that answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep.